Okay, we're working on a bunch of projects right now. We've got the RV going on, and we're doing some jet ski videos and that kind of stuff. And we're trying to do a little diving. And the light is really bright. I'm gonna take a day and I'm gonna build a quick project. I've wanted one for a while, and I haven't found one that actually did what I wanted it to do. So I'm gonna build my own dive scooter. I've made one in the past about 20 years ago, so I kind of learned from my mistakes a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and make another one. Should be a fairly quick project. I had to buy just a few little parts from town. The rest of the stuff I've already got. I'm going to go ahead and use my batteries from the BattleBots build. So I'll run 4 3S8000 milliamp hour LiPos in it. I'm going to get started on that. I'll bring you guys along. And yes, I'm taking my new trolling motor off the Pelican boat. We haven't used it in a month or two anyway, and this is a horrible mess out here because all of our stuff out of the camper we've taken out. So there's my trolling motor off my little Pelican. I think it was kind of bright when I was taking it off out there, but I just went ahead and took it off my little Pelican boat over there. So I'm going to take this apart. That's what I'm going to use for my scooter. And I got a few odds and ends parts I went to the hardware store, got this morning, and a couple from O'Reilly's. There's noise in the background. It's because the air is on in the RV machines when they're working on it. So sorry about that. I'll of course save all these pieces like this. We've got other flow motors and stuff like that always comes in handy, so I'll save that kind of stuff for a later project or in case something goes bad on one of my other ones. And you can hear another noise in the background. We have a shallow well pump here, which we did a video on putting the shallow well pump in. That watering the plants. That noise will be going on for a little while. We've actually got jelly palms with fruit starting to form, so she's watering those to make sure we get it. And I do know these are threaded in, but they also are glued, so I don't know if I'll be able to get at that or not. I may just have to go ahead and cut it off, which I'm planning on cutting this off anyway. It's just better if I can get it unscrewed, so I don't worry about cutting the wires. Gotta be real careful. I don't want to cut the wires in. Nope, all I did was just crush it, so I'm gonna go ahead and just cut it off real gentle. Almost through. Let's see if I can just break it off. Right at it. There we go. And no wires were harmed in the making of it, which I still have to smooth all this up and cut the bottom pin off. I'll go ahead and cut the bottom pin off now. Grind these smooth, and we'll be on our way. Alright, so now this should fit right there. Nice waterproof seal. Works nice. And also this allows me to adjust the buoyancy to an extent. Since it is going to be fairly compact, if I need to, before I actually build my guards, I can actually slide this out, I don't know, 4 inches, 5 inches, which will give me more buoyancy inside the chamber. So I'll play with that actually after I get part of it together. I want it to be a little bit negative buoyant, but pretty close to neutral. Now I just gotta figure out how long I need my pipe, and that's gonna be kind of based on my batteries, if I can get them all in there or not. So I may have to take a little break from this while the other batteries are charging. I just hate interrupting the cycle. But I got other stuff I can do. I can go ahead and work on my guard for the end of it. Get a few things like that done. Not near as easy as it looks to get this on there. Which is good, it means it's tight. There we go. So that's the basic of how the end's going to look. And then I'll cut this off to as long as I need for my batteries. I have a rubber cap for the end of it down here. Now I can get into it really easy to change batteries and charge batteries. So I'm going to go ahead and start bending my stuff for the guard where the batteries are charging, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, I went ahead and figured out my length. I'm only going to use 3 batteries. If I used 4, I actually had to make it an extra 7 inches longer just to get the 1 extra battery. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the 3, which should still give me pretty decent runtime. So we'll hope that works out. If it doesn't, I can always change this a little bit. I can actually take this up to a 6-inch pipe at the end if I need to, so I can get the more batteries in it. But I'd rather just stay with the smaller size. So I already kind of measured out I can cut 22 inches off this pipe, so it'll make it much shorter. So I'm going to go ahead and chop that off and keep on working. Alright, so here's the length of the pipe. Obviously my wires will need cut off after I get it together, but for right now I'm just going to roll them up because I always like having a little extra wire. I hate to cut them short and have an extra splice. So there's the motor and the batteries. And just like that. And that'll be the completed shell when I get done. So pretty small. It is a little bit heavy, so hopefully it isn't too negatively buoyant. So if it is, I'll just have to take a little bit of weight off of my PC, because I'm actually going to use this for scuba diving. So I'm trying to make this where it's ready to go down 60-70 feet. So hope for the best. So now what I'm planning here is I'm going to bend one section of this to go around the pipe to the back of my guard, and the other end will be big enough to go around the propeller for the guard. Then I've got a smaller strap to go to down the center of it to keep anything out of it. I obviously don't have long hair, so I'm not worried about the hair getting in there, but I at least want a little bit of protection, because if you run it against your belly, you don't want it cutting into you. So I'm going to go ahead and bend these as close as I can. I'm going to make these where I can clamp them on. So after I get them around, I'll put some tabs on it, weld the bolts so I can actually cinch it on there. Get that going. So that's my first curl. I'm just getting close, and now I'm going to start narrowing in on the 4-inch PVC pipe size. But I'm just pinching it between the grates on the table saw and just slowly working my way around it. You know, trying to bend it every half an inch or less. That way it gives a nice smooth curl to it. But once I get it really close, I'll be able to bend this to get it perfectly round and the exact size I need. Those fins are kind of wide, so I'm going to go to the vise and actually try to use the vise to make it a little bit tighter. So we'll get quite a bit tighter with the vise. We'll see how close I am. That'll be pretty close. The wheel has kind of been right here, just a hair more. I may just still do that by hand. That'll be perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this, cut it off. Weld some tabs on it. It's a shame I got to break the welder out for like 6 inches of weld total. I did think about riveting it, bolting it, but welders was much nicer. I am cheating. I didn't get out the big welder, I just got out my little flux core welder. For what I'm doing, the flux core should be just fine. Well, there's my finished ring. I'm going to go ahead and bend it just a little bit straighter. And that'll be perfect. That'll give me enough to suck those down tight so it can't flip around. Now I'm going to weld my little tabs on here so I can drill a hole and put a bolt through it to tighten everything up. A note to remember, always take your watch off before you start welding, because it will melt the glass. I've got this welder running off a couple different extension cords, so I may have to change the weld in the shed so I have enough fuse. I'm hoping this works. Sure looks like right now. And then once I put them on there and put the bolt through, it should suck these guys together. So I'm gonna go grind them smooth, cool them off, and go from there. So I went ahead and kind of rounded the edges off. I'll clean them up more when I finally get done. Went ahead and drilled a hole across there, so now I'll be able to clamp it down onto the pipe. I'm gonna go ahead and use my cut-off piece for now, just as a test. So if I scratch anything or tear anything up, it's all on the test pipe. So that's nice and tight. I'll actually tighten it more when I get finished with it, but you can see it fits nice around there. That's number one. Now I got to make a ring to go around my propeller for my guard, and I'll attach them all together. And I'll definitely be using stainless steel hardware for all this. It will be in the salt water. That's my okay, well, the big one. Okay, I got my ring all done. I'm going to go ahead and weld the ends together. About as perfect round as I can get it by hand, so go ahead and weld the ends together and keep on going. I'm going to go cool it off in the pool. Okay, so there's my ring done. There's that part done. So now I just need to connect these two together. So I'm Go ahead and put it on the real piece so I can get the exact length that I need and see what I need to do next. I'm going to do right at 7 inches. I know that's not an exact measurement, but I can move this up and down a little bit, and that's about a ½ inch longer than what I think I need. Now I'm going to attach the two together. Now that it's tacked together, I'm going to go ahead and try it. And this is just very loosely tacked. Little welder's giving me a hard time there, but there's the welded cage. Same thing, I'm going to cool it off with a pool. All in one paint and start painting everything. When I'm done with this, I went ahead and off camera, I went ahead and kind of ground my welds down a little bit, cleaned it off with Scotch-Brite, so it should be good to hold paint. Go ahead and give it a nice good coat. Like I said, this is just a mild seal, so it will rust if I don't get a good coat of paint on it. So now we're going to let that dry. I'm going to start working on my handles. Like I said, I redesigned it, so I haven't quite 100% figured it out yet, but we'll figure it out as we go. About the hardest things in the world to open. Let those dry for a few minutes. What I'm planning on doing, I'm actually going to make this a little flatter and drill a hole through the end of it. I'm going to put a bolt through the side of the unit there, sticking out with a nut in here, and I'll seal it all up so it's watertight, but I'm going to try to cut that flat so it kind of, I see even flat, but maybe even a little curve so it kind of matches the side of the PVC, the big pipe, so see how that goes. So just enough off the top that they'll have a little better bite, because I've kind of made them concave to here so they'll match it. Now I'm going to go ahead and drill a hole in the end of this and get ready to mount it in there. Now it is funny, I have about 7 other drills, and I'm using this fine piece of equipment, but first one I grabbed, so don't give me a hard time. Trying to save as much room as I can inside as well. And again, this is just temporary bolting everything together. Once I get it all done, then I'll take it all back apart, paint it, seal it all up, put it back together. That'll be pretty simple. I'll have it back. Will be on before we'll be off. So. That'd be pretty good. So, that ought to work. I put a little spacer ring on the inside of there, and that's the same size as the back of the trolling motor, so it keeps it centered in there. And that was just that little drain cover I had. I just went and kind of roughly cut the center of it out so it fits perfectly around the trolling motor. So I just put a couple little drops of glue on it there to keep it from sliding around. It doesn't really have any force on it or move, it just keeps it as a bushing. So at this point I'm actually ready for the pretty much paint the rest of the PVC here, and then I'll do final assembly. So I don't think you guys want to watch me paint this PVC, so I'm going to go ahead and take it apart, sand it down, and paint it, and then I'll get back to you for final assembly. The final assembly before I go test it tomorrow. So, got this paint dry. I haven't painted the handles yet. I'm giving the sealer a little time to dry before I go ahead and paint over it. But I'm going to go ahead and start assembling things. So now I got to do a little different order because everything's halfway assembled. So I'm going to go ahead and put the guard on first and go from there. Now is when I got to be real careful, try not to scratch anything. So. I went ahead and got me a new stainless steel bolt to cinch that together. And now the switch, I'm going to go ahead and epoxy the switch in so I don't have to worry about it. Okay, well, to get both, I did go ahead and put a little padding down underneath the bottom of this, protect the switch and everything. For right now, I didn't have any actual crafter's foams. I literally just wadded up some paper towels, put them in there. So I'm going to see if I can get the battery and the solenoid all in here now. Make sure everything works. Like it was meant to be in there. And it works. So now the same thing, I'm going to go ahead and I need some of that foam. I'm thinking I'm going to get a pool noodle here. I'm going to go ahead and cut a little pool noodle off and put it in there for protection. And then we'll be ready to try her out. So I know it'll be a little noisy now. Sandy decided to go ahead and mow the yard, so she's going to be making a little bit of noise for a while, but there's pretty much my finished product. Everything went together nice and neat, and I'm letting the paint on the handles dry for a while, and we'll go put it in the pool. Okay, so here is the completed project. It was a little heavy in the butt, so I put some pool noodles on the back side there for a little bit of extra flotation. Went ahead and put me a dive light on the front. The GoPro mount there with lots of adjustments and the carabiner. And I even actually went ahead and put a 2-pound weight in the front of this just so it would have a little bit of nose weight to it because it was a little tail heavy. So I've already went and put it in the pool. Moves with lots of water. I got a video of that. I was going to get in the pool, but just didn't get around to it, so that's it. We're going to take it out tomorrow and give her a try. I'm going to pull the batteries out now and go ahead and top them off just because I've been playing with it today. I want to see how long it actually lasts. That's it for now. We will get some video of it working tomorrow.